by winning Saturday.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to have that approach from day one? That it's not foreign to the kids now. They've been hearing this for 11 games now. This is all you have to do this week.
Yeah, I think it'll any day that we're coaching, it's going to be the same thing. There's too much going on in the outside world. There's too much clutter. There's too much coverage and hype and noise to really do anything else but make sure your guys are focused on the task at hand, and even streamlining it even more, the practice at hand, the meeting that you're about to walk into, the walkthrough that you're taking part in. So without a doubt, it's been emphasized. We're going to continue along the lines of that, and that's not going to change.
You said it was as close to a regular week, I guess. I'm sure you showed that up a little bit.
Last week,
yes,
we did. We did get healed up. Some guys were banged up a little bit. I'm sure everybody's asking about Damari and Ryan Elijah Alston. Those guys are all really close. It'll be a game time decision. Feel good about them joining us either this weekend or next weekend, but they're cleared and they're practicing. So it's going to be real close and in a positive way. We want to make sure that if they're out there, they're performing at a high level, that it's not just plug-in.
Did you start on Wake earlier than you would, or is this a normal game week?
10 days out. Right. Any opponent, whether it be camp, even though you do your recon, you do all your game planning and your assessment and breakdowns early, you start actually doing the physical stuff where the team knows you're actually doing it 10 days out. We do the same thing in camp. So we do have a couple of extra days on them, and certainly it's been helpful. They're unique in a couple different ways, so it's been very helpful.
With Damari, obviously he was expecting to play a big role in this year's team, and he's been out since week one. Mm-hmm. How have you seen him kind of handle this lengthy injury, mentally, and how has he approached, his rehab?
I think it's helped him come out of his shell a little bit because Damari, by nature, number one, he comes from a great family, but he's very reserved in a good way, just very focused, takes care of his business. And when you go through something like that, you find yourself, you have to be engaged in different ways. And we don't allow guys to isolate during injury time. That's the worst thing you could do for a player, is let him kind of drift off and get in his own mental space. It's never good. So you've seen him just develop just from a personality standpoint, engagement standpoint. He looks great, and he's, this is a big week for him because the reps he'll be taking and the work he'll be doing is as close to gameplay as it could possibly be. So we're working hard to get him ready. He's working hard to get himself ready. So is Ryan, and so is Elijah.
And we've talked about Xavier Restrepo all season. He's obviously climbing the leaderboards and accomplishing a lot. Having coached him for the last 3 years, this is his last home game at UM. So what do you think he's meant to the program and what this last game means to him? Well,
I think it's mutual. He means the world to the program, and the program means the world to him. He is the epitome of hard work. I think he's grown up a ton. That's the biggest thing. The maturity levels of X over the past even 8, 9, 10 months being all about team and making sure that he does everything possible to affect teammates has really been just incredibly, just awesome to watch. And obviously he's going to play a long time. He's a really good football player, but he and these other guys, they've everything that we are looking at and focus on is Wake Forest. So all the personal accolades, goals, and everything else, I think for the rest of the guys, they all take a back seat, and it'll be the theme of the press conference and everything else we do, man. We're focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's the way it should be.
To piggyback off that, just the senior class as a whole, you have guys like ex-Nanny and a few others who have been here from the start, a few guys who've been here for a couple of years, a lot of guys who transferred in this offseason. Just the senior class as a whole, how much value did they have for you guys getting to where you are this season?
Always the most valuable part. They're the core, and they have an experience that's very unique. I'm talking about the guys that have been here for a little bit. They've seen change. They've endured hardship. They've seen some tough times. They've gone through struggles. It's an education that is priceless. You really can't. The class that just walked in has had a very different path and, I would say, educational piece to their development as compared to the ones that we're talking about. The guys like Elijah Arroyo and guys like Xavier Restrepo, guys that have been here and still, some have time, some don't. But it's really unique what they've done, what they've gone through. And I think it's made them more callous in a good way. It certainly has grown their resilience and has helped others understand the importance and the urgency as it relates to every day, right? As it relates to every part of your preparation, as it relates to, everything 1-0.
Most families get on the field for one senior day. Andy Borghaus' family's going to get down there for the second time. The fact that he has been so consistent for you this year, what sort of a luxury is that to know what you're going to get from your kicker more often than not?
Well, we've stated on several occasions, how valuable he is. Maybe not enough, honestly. He really is. We feel he's the very best in the country. He's developed as a leader. He's really changed his body. That's one of the things that's going to propel him to, having a great, game on Saturday and the other games coming up and then later on in life. But yeah, a guy like that, the confidence levels in him is, you almost try to test him every single week, and we do, and he comes through. So incredible young man, a lot of football to play here in 2024. So looking forward to Saturday.
How do you think the team has responded, coming off that first defeat to Georgia Tech, obviously undefeated? Do you think it's kind of, lit something under their behind, or kind of, what's their response?
Has it lit something under their behind?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? I think we light everybody's behind the way we go and about our way here. I don't think you change who you are and your approach to football. I don't think you as a coach all of a sudden, want to change your intensity levels and try to be macho tough guy. We go hard, and we're intense, and we're physical, and we don't fake. We don't like fakes. We don't like phonies. We don't like BS. We like real deal people that get after it. You know what I mean? Like hard asses. Part of my language. And I think this team, every member of the staff took that loss hard. So without getting into any of the generic, what do you say, wake up call, all those taglines and whatnot. It increases your awareness for the fact that college football is difficult, winning is difficult, and that when you have 10 games, 11 games on tape, if you have things that you need to correct and you're not all the way there, you're going to get hit on that week after week. So that's why the bye week has been so valuable. We've had time to work on communication, number one, which is critically important, alignment and assignment. All those things done well provide confidence, let you play fast, let you play hard. And we've had to do a better job coaching it. I think we have. Players have done a better job learning it. I think they have. And we're looking forward to putting that to action on Saturday.
Is there value to a double bye?
I think so. I do. It's a long season. It's not like the NFL. I know there's a lot of talk about roster size changes and everything else, and people say, well, the NFL has. I don't even follow the NFL. I guess it's 53-man roster,
46 on Sundays or something.
46 on Sundays and a practice roster. But if you look at the year for an NFL team, they cycle through 120 plus players. And it's ready-made players. It's players on the waiver wire, right, that have played football, that have played multiple years of football, that understand the game, technique, fundamentals. And in college football, you don't, because 30-plus of those guys are new guys that are learning systems, that are learning processes. So it's the value of the repetition, the value of time invested, getting guys in play, experience on your roster is it's monumental. It's about as important as it gets.
Wake Forest is an older team. What type of challenge does that pose playing against a team like that?
I think it starts up front. I think they play with great technique. They play with great pad level. They're unique in their technique too. They're quick, and they the quick swim, the butt press separation, the stunning, the stemming, pre-snap stemming. Get you to change your line calls, the involvement of their secondary, particularly their safeties in the run game, to change the box count, to change the leverages, to change the picture. The way they've done a really good job on the back end, taking away certain route concepts against certain teams. They're very diligent in their studies and in changing what they do week to week as it relates to opponents. Like, they really do a good job of taking away what a team does best, and they're complemented by an offense and they know they're top 25 in terms of moving the sticks, of getting first downs. So you look at so many of their games go deep into the fourth quarter, or somewhere in the fourth quarter, and it's a one possession game, and it's due to the fact they play very good complementary football. But it starts up front, and I think their defensive line, They're very well coached. They've got a couple of really disruptive players with a lot of statistical data to back that up. But what stands out to me and to our players, when you ask our players what stands out, right away they all say they play really hard. They play the game the right way.
You were 2 wins away from playing the ACC title game for the second time in program history. What does it mean to you, to this team, and to you, knowing that you had the opportunity right in front of you?
Well, we set so many goals at the beginning of the season, and I think those goals are always something that's there. It's in the background. It's a driving force. But all of our focus and all of our talk, the vibe in the building is one that's really energetic and strong as it relates to the opponent at hand. I think any thought outside of that, especially if you study Miami and Miami football throughout the last 20 years, there's been opportunities heading in the latter part of the season, and for whatever reason it tailed off or didn't quite work out. So we'd like to prevent any avoidable mistakes or mishaps by making sure that we're focused on the task at hand. And right now that's tomorrow's practice in Wake Forest.
Daniel Austin has been at Wake for 10 or 11 years now, which in college football today is like 100 years. Nobody stays in one place, it seems like, for a decade. What does that say about when a guy is able to win at a non-traditional power? Certainly not.
Yeah.
A place like Wake, which was a basketball school, and he got there, and so many people still think of it as one, and build a pretty good program. What's that say about the job that he's done and the culture that they have there?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I had the ultimate respect for Dave Clawson. I'll tell you why. When I was a GA, Rutgers, the first interview I ever sat in on was Coach Clawson, and I was blown away by his knowledge, how articulate he was, how detailed he was, how knowledgeable he was, and watched his career just grow and take off from there. And he's one of those guys that throughout the last several years has been one of those sought-after names, and he's proven his commitment, loyalty to his program, not only with his tenure and whatnot, but with results. I mean, he's won some massive games there, the biggest games maybe they've ever won in program history, and they've always had great teams, and they have a good football team, that's fallen short a couple times, but has been right there and capable of winning every single one of those games. So a ton of respect for him. I know him personally a little bit, but certainly his body of work speaks volumes.
Mario, I don't know if it was this year or maybe last year, you said you wanted Hard Rock to be a tough place to play, knowing that you can close it out, winning all your home games. Like, what would that mean to you to be able to get that job done?
Yeah, that's strong. It'd be a strong statement. You have so many goals that you talk about when the season starts, and certainly that's one of them. You always want to make your home place a tough place to play. And the beauty of it ties in directly to the ultimate goal, being 1-0 on Saturday. This one just happens to be the last one at Hard Rock. And you know what? Our fans have done a great job all year at home and away traveling. And we want to make sure that they feel it, that they continue to feel tighter and a stronger bond to us, to the Miami Hurricane football program, because I think they're starting to get to know our guys. They're starting to get to know our people, our personalities. I mean, you've got local guys that have been, stars in the community since they've been this tall, and you've got guys coming from all over the country that have made themselves, very just big names for themselves here, and they've taken in the city as much as the city's taken them. And so we're very proud to represent the city and the community. And yeah, it does. It means a ton to us, But I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing back to Wake Forest, Good? Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.